It's interesting how whenever we move or whenever we get a new car, we always want to upgrade. We very rarely want to downgrade. Because in our minds, we are built for success. We are built by the world as discipling us to always try to achieve higher, always try to achieve better. And here we find ourselves when we look at this verse. And I want to challenge you a little bit before I unpack it, because what we do is when we read this verse, we say, delight yourself in the Lord. Yeah, that's all good. That's all kind of gravy. But the good part of this verse is he will give us the desires of our heart. How good does that sound? That means all the things that I want in my life, if I delight in the Lord and I worship him a bit more, and if I read my Bible a little bit more, if I go really holy and get on my knees to pray, oh, goodness me, I'm going to get the desires of my heart. Here's where we find ourselves. And let me tell you why we find ourselves in this situation. Because we have so implicitly been discipled by the world that even when we read the very pages of Scripture, we try to find ourselves in there rather than trying to find God. But this book here, this has actually got little to do with us. It's got everything to do with God. About his majesty and his love and his sacrifice and his grace and his mercy, and how he's pouring out his love onto people every single day. About how there's a global church which he is leading victoriously and reigning supremely to see things take place across the whole globe, so that his love is pouring out to people that don't yet know it, that his spirit is ushering in a new time and a new season for his people. And here we find ourselves reading this verse and we automatically go to that second part and go, but it's all about the desires of our heart, right? No, church, let me be really honest with you. The win and the victory of this verse is that we get to delight in the Lord. This is the beauty of Scripture. Not that our heart's desires will be accomplished, but the fact that we have had the gap between us and heaven, the gap between us and God completely restored through the works of Jesus, that now we get to delight in the Lord. That is the victory. That is the win. That is the success. That is who we are as people. So the question we need to ask when we read this verse, because the primary few words in this verse dictates the whole verse, and we have to understand this, that delight yourself in the Lord is where it is written. That is primary foundation. It then goes on to say, and he will give you the desires of your heart. So the question when we read this verse is simply this: what are the desires of a heart of someone who is delighting in the Lord?